Lionel Messi walked off a football pitch for maybe the last time in his life, and he was not crying because Argentina lost a football match. He was crying because he knew exactly what everybody watching around the world already knew, which is that this Argentina team, the one wearing the crown, the one that beat France in the greatest final ever played, got completely and totally dismantled by a group of Spanish kids who were not even born the last time Spain won a World Cup. And by the time you finish this video, you're going to understand why grown men on live television started throwing punches after the final whistle, why the head coach of Argentina broke down crying in front of the entire world, and why one Spanish player is now planning to get a tattoo of his own manager on his body forever. This is the full story of the night Spain ended an empire. New Jersey, July 19th, 2026. The two best teams on the planet, according to FIFA's own rankings. The champions of Europe against the champions of South America. And, from the very first whistle, it was obvious this was not going to be a normal final, because Spain did not just want to win this game, they wanted to strangle it. Lamine Yamal, 19 years old, cut inside in the 5th minute and forced the first save of the match from Emiliano Martinez. And that was basically a warning shot, because for the next 90 minutes, Spain had the ball. Spain had the territory. Spain had every single meaningful chance in the entire game, and Argentina had absolutely nothing. They did not register a single shot on target in normal time. Not one. This is the reigning world champions we are talking about. And they could not even test the goalkeeper. Mikel Oyarzabal drove one at Martinez. Marc Cucurella dragged one wide. Pau Cubarsí tried his luck. Pedri tried his luck. Nico Williams tried his luck. And every single time there was Emiliano Martinez standing in the way like a brick wall. The man made 11 saves on the day. And honestly, if it was not for him, Spain's manager Luis de la Fuente said flat out afterward, we might have had a much bigger win. But here is the thing about football. Sometimes the story is not written by the player everybody is watching. Lionel Messi came into this final with 8 goals, 5 assists, and an absolute mountain of magic behind him. And Spain's game plan from minute 1 was simple and brutal. Do not let him breathe. De la Fuente said it himself. We had a game plan where the first idea was to keep Messi at bay, and it worked because Messi barely touched the ball in dangerous areas. The greatest player of his generation, reduced to a ghost on the biggest stage of his career. Deep into second half stoppage time, with the game still level at 0-0, Enzo Fernandez went in hard on Pau Cubarsí in midfield, and the referee had seen enough. Second yellow card. Straight red. Argentina's midfield engine gone. The defending champions were about to play extra time with 10 men against a Spain side that had barely broken a sweat. And this is where it gets historical, because 16 years earlier, almost to the day, Andrés Iniesta scored the winning goal for Spain in extra time against a Netherlands team that had just gone down to 10 men after a red card. History was about to repeat itself in the most eerie way possible. 1 minute into the second period of extra time, Lamine Yamal picks it up on the right. He slides it to Pedro Porro. Porro whips in a cross. Nico Williams, a substitute himself, gets a flick header down. And there is Ferran Torres, a man who started this entire tournament on the bench, a man who had not scored a single goal before this final. Torres strikes it first time, left foot, rockets past Martinez into the roof of the net, and Spain's bench absolutely explodes. 106th minute, Ferran Torres had just become the second substitute in World Cup final history to score the winning goal. The first one was Mario Götze for Germany back in 2014, and Torres did not hold back afterward. He said the goal belongs to 47 million people, not just to me. He said destiny was written. It was made for us to win. After the final whistle, Lionel Messi stood in front of the cameras, and instead of making excuses, instead of blaming the referee, instead of blaming anybody, he told the truth. And honestly, this quote is going to hurt Argentine fans more than the scoreline ever could. Spain deserved to win today, Messi said. They were the better team and controlled the game for long periods. We did not create enough chances, and against a team of that quality, you get punished. What disappoints me the most is not the result. It is the way we played. We never looked like the Argentina people are used to seeing. We spent too much time defending in our own half and could not impose our style. When you play against a team that keeps the ball so well, you have to be aggressive, make the most of every opportunity, and be brave in possession. We did not do that, and that is why we lost. Congratulations to Spain. They deserve to be world champions. That is not a man complaining. That is a legend accepting reality. And it might be the last time we ever hear him speak as an Argentina player, because Messi, at 39 years old, just became the oldest outfield player to ever appear in a World Cup final, breaking a record that had stood since 1958. And there are already rumors swirling that this was his final international match. Argentina's own head coach, Lionel Scaloni, was asked directly about it, and even he admitted, "Truth be told, I did not speak to Leo." Speaking of Scaloni, this man cried on live television after the match. He said, "It hurts my soul. I am sorry." And remember, this is the coach who delivered Argentina back-to-back World Cup finals. A coach who somehow dragged this team through 4 consecutive knockout matches, decided in the final minutes or extra time, something no team in the history of this tournament had ever done. And now, there are already reports suggesting Scaloni could step away from the job entirely, with December being floated as a possible end date for his reign. The throne might genuinely be empty soon. Now here is the part of the story most highlight videos are not going to show you. Because seconds after that final whistle blew, this final turned ugly. Argentine players reportedly lost their composure completely. Fullback Nahuel Molina and midfielder Leandro Paredes were at the center of a post-match confrontation, with Paredes allegedly throwing Gavi to the ground and shoving him in the face before grabbing at another player's bib. And it apparently did not stop with the players. Argentina's assistant coach, Roberto Ayala, is accused of striking Spain's Dani Olmo in the throat. FIFA has already confirmed they are opening a full investigation into the ugly scenes. And this comes on top of an existing FIFA probe into Argentina's players, after that Falklands banner controversy from the semi-final against England, where players held up a sign reading, "The Malvinas belong to Argentina," a political statement that FIFA strictly bans inside its stadiums. Argentina could be staring down fines, suspensions, and a serious dent to their reputation as reigning champions. And honestly, after everything that happened on that pitch, you have to ask, was this really the way a champion team wanted to go out? On the other side of this story, Spain was in full celebration mode, and the man lifting the golden ball as the tournament's best player was Rodri. This story alone deserves its own movie, because 2 years ago, Rodri ruptured his Achilles tendon, an injury that ends careers. And here he was, completing a mind-blowing 790 passes across the tournament, shattering his own previous World Cup record. "It feels like the perfect script," Rodri said. "I certainly did not expect this. This group is incredible. We are 2-time world champions. I am proud, and I would love for new generations to see that a player who touches the sky and then plummets to hell is also capable of rising again." And his teammate, Marc Cucurella, was not shy about giving Rodri his flowers either, saying, "Rodri is a very important player for us. Sometimes it is not just about scoring or assisting. He controls everything. He organizes the team. He deserves the World Cup Golden Ball." But Cucurella was not just talking about Rodri. After the match, he dropped one of the funniest lines of the entire tournament, joking about getting a tattoo of manager Luis de la Fuente on his body. "I need to think, where do I get the tattoo of Luis de la Fuente now?" he said. "I will do it visible. I will think about that during the flight back home." That is the kind of loyalty a World Cup winning manager earns from his players. Let's talk numbers for a second, because what Spain just did, statistically, might be the most dominant World Cup winning campaign we have ever witnessed. Goalkeeper Unai Simon set an all-time World Cup record with 7 clean sheets in 8 matches. He went 650 minutes without conceding a single goal before Belgium finally broke through in the quarterfinals. Spain conceded exactly 1 goal across the entire tournament, the fewest ever by a World Cup winning team, beating even their own 2010 side. And Spain's unbeaten run now sits at 38 matches, an all-time men's international record. And then there is Lamine Yamal, 19 years old, and he just added a World Cup winner's medal to a resume that already includes 3 La Liga titles, 2 Spanish Super Cups, a Copa del Rey, and a European Championship. That is 8 major titles before this kid can even legally rent a car in some countries. He is now the joint 4th youngest player in history to win a World Cup. Only Pelé, Ronaldo, and Giuseppe Bergomi were younger. And remember Bergomi's nickname back in 1982, the Uncle, because despite being a teenager, he had a full, thick mustache. Yamal does not need one. His trophy case is already doing the talking. Even the legends could not stop talking about what they had just witnessed. Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic broke it down live on air, and Zlatan did not hold back. "Football won today," he said. "The way they play football, the way they played in this tournament, when you watch football, this is what you want to see." He pointed out that teams who try to play with real style and real football often get criticized when they lose. But Spain proved that sticking to your identity can still win you the whole thing. And even in defeat, the legends made sure Messi got his flowers too. Henry said, "It takes a team like Spain to be able to beat Argentina." Zlatan added, "We have enjoyed him during this World Cup. I know he is sad he did not win, but he had an amazing tournament. He kept this team alive. He did some amazing stuff. 8 goals, 4 assists, a run to the final at 39 years old. Whatever happens next, nobody can ever take that away from him." Away from the final, there is still unfinished business at this World Cup because FIFA has now opened voting for goal of the tournament. And 2 absolute screamers are leading the conversation: Kylian Mbappe's long-range strike against Senegal and Jude Bellingham's goal against France. Both moments had stadiums across North America on their feet. And honestly, this debate alone could fill an entire video of its own. So, Spain are world champions for the second time in their history, and the first team ever to hold the Men's and Women's World Cup at the exact same time. But this story is nowhere near finished, because FIFA still has a disciplinary case to rule on. Lionel Scaloni's future hangs in the balance. Lionel Messi has not confirmed whether he will ever wear the Argentina shirt again. And somewhere in Spain, Marc Cucurella is still deciding exactly where on his body he is putting his manager's face permanently. This chapter of football history just closed, but I promise you, the fallout from this final is only getting started. So if you want to be the first to know what happens next with Messi's future, the FIFA investigation, and everything else coming out of this World Cup, make sure you are subscribed, because trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming.